be a full participant and be back into action, hopefully going to play tomorrow?
It feels great. I was out for a couple of weeks, which was aggravating just to have to sit back and watch. So being able to come out here and practice with the guys, play with the guys is obviously a good thing for me mentally.
What was the toughest part of that injury? Just sitting out?
Yeah, just sitting out and not really. I'm not gonna say not being part of the team, but just having to watch and not being able to go out there and help and do things here or there.
When you're out for a while, how tough is it to get back up to game speed?
I think our staff here does a great job of keeping us in shape and doing things that will translate into the game. So it's not that hard for us as players to be able to transition back into game shape.
Some of the injuries that you've experienced, is it just frustrating to not be on the court?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. I think any injury, and especially ones that aren't from like a hard fall or something like that, and just kind of just happen out of nowhere, are more frustrating than I think the other ones are.
What's the mental hurdle of getting it? I mean, obviously, as he talked about, just experiencing it again, but do you feel like you're behind the eight ball as a result?
No, not at all. I've stayed, in the gym when the guys were here, when the guys were gone, and I've gotten my work in when I was able to, and followed the program, and I feel, more than ready to be back out there.
And what do you just feel about this team and what you've observed in the meantime?
I think we're starting to find our stride a little bit. We got to continue to go out there and try to start the games the right way. We didn't do that last game, but we're always a team that's going to fight. So I don't think you have to worry about us not fighting in games, and we've shown that. But we just got to continue to grow as a group and start games off the right way.
What have you been able to do throughout this process to kind of stay in shape and keep moving?
Just different conditioning things, a lot of VersaClimber, treadmill work, and Alter G work, and bike work and stuff like that. A lot of time spent in the weight room and different things like that. And then once I was able to get on the court, spent a lot of time on the court shooting and moving around, stuff like that.
Team's been clicking offensively. What have you seen that's contributed to that?
I think we're running a lot more. We're getting out in transition a lot more. We're sharing the ball. We're making easy plays. We're passing to the open guy, and guys are starting to knock down shots, which is helping a lot.
Having a target for Thursday, I mean, would that be accurate to say that you're just waiting to get the go or green light and you'll be ready?
Yeah. I mean, I feel more than ready to go out there and compete tomorrow, and that's my goal. And hopefully coaches and the staff will also agree with that and see how it goes.
DeMar back at it tomorrow with 2 key games against the Lakers. Just what's the mentality? How are you guys feeling right now?
I think just eager just to get back out there and play. Tough last game. Just want to get back out there, redeem ourselves, go out there and compete. Just give ourselves another opportunity, get back in the win column.
We didn't have a chance to talk with you after that game. Just can you take us through that final play and just kind of what happened there?
I just lost the ball. Simple as that. Fumbled the ball.
Is that easy to move beyond? I mean, you've done this a long time.
But it'd be better once you play. Sitting on it for 2 days. It's only way to get that feeling off is get a win tomorrow.
You have, obviously, Mike, talking so much about details and the attention you guys have to have. How does that kind of resonate with you? Are you guys kind of see the same things kind of popping up?
Yeah. We just got to tighten up. We got to tighten up longer periods of the game. Can't have those lapses. We can't get ourselves down 20 in the first quarter of a game. It's just too hard. We can't give teams little, easy things to get them confidence late in the game. So we definitely see it.
Tomorrow, with all the injuries this year, how nice is it to have a Trey back out there as a full participant in practice?
I mean, it's big, even when he got hurt, he was starting to play well for us. Another big body, another person who know the ins and outs offensively and defensively, key guy on the team, so it's good to have him back.
Can't do much with shots going in or not, but what have you thought of your guys' late game execution and just creating looks?
I mean, we missed a lot of easy shots at the end of last game. We make 1 or 2 of those shots, get even one stop, we win that game. We just got to tighten up and just play with more confidence late in the game and late in those moments when those shots come.
What was your perspective on what happened in that first quarter?
I mean, just a lapse on us. Simple as that. Something that we can't allow. We can't allow at all.
Thanks, everyone.
It looks like you guys are getting a little healthier with possibly Trey coming back tomorrow. I know Kevin was a partial participant. Just what does that change for you guys?
Until they're back, which I don't know if they are 100% back yet, but until they're back, we got to keep having that even when they're back, we got to have next man mentality. So obviously you want all your guys to be healthy and pray that that happens the whole year, but the game's about injuries at times, and so we got 17 guys, and so or 18 guys, whatever we have. So the next guy has to be ready to step up, and the guys that have been playing have done a pretty good job of trying to fill the void.
Assuming you went back and watched some of that Denver game, just what did you kind of emphasize to the team?
I just thought, especially in the first quarter, we weren't locked in on the small things. I mean, the way they scored in the paint in that first quarter was inexcusable, and I would be interested to hear if any of our guys think any different. The paint points that they got, it was just way, 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 way too easy. And, one of the things we told the guys, we said, hey, we're 3-9 in games decided by 5 points or less, and not just against, quote-unquote great teams. You can mix in some teams that don't have good records in there. And, for us to be 3-9 in those games when we have two of the most clutch guys on offense in the game, that means, A, we're not starting the game right, and teams that shouldn't be in the game with us at that point have confidence. Players have confidence because the game was too easy to begin with, all right, because we didn't pay attention to the details, go out there and hit first and establish and/or set the tone. So now they got confidence that's hard to shut off. That's why they're in the NBA. And then second, we're going through these lulls that we have to change. We have to lock in and focus for as close to 48 minutes as possible. Otherwise, we'll be good, then we'll be bad. We'll be good, we'll be bad. And at the end of the game, who knows what can happen? You have the two most clutch offensive players. That means we got to get stops because we're going to find a way to score. I think we scored 9 points in the first 8 minutes, hypothetically, of the Denver game. We ended up with 124 versus a pretty good defensive team. So for us, again, I say this, we're going to find ways to score. But can we lock in and defend, especially embracing the details that you need to embrace to be a pretty good team on that end of the floor? Can we do it for 48 minutes? That's what our challenge is through most of the nights.
With it being a game of runs, I mean, even the great teams you've been on, I'm sure, you can't do it for 48 every single night. But how do you see the great teams you've been on respond to limiting those moments?
Well, that's why I always say it's close to 48 minutes because the other teams in the NBA, doesn't matter what the record is, and they're going to go on spurts or they're going to go on runs. But you can't start the game, for sure, giving confidence to your opponent. And everything that happened to us to start the game, we literally went over and emphasized and shoot around. Our guys knew it. But we didn't decide to do it until the end of the first. And by the end of the game, everybody on their team was confident because they saw how easy the ball can go in the hoop. And so now it's hard to turn the water off. And so again, I will never say for 48 minutes. Well, I'll try to never say for 48 minutes. That's a wish. It's like when when you're asking Santa for a lot of stuff that you can't get. Okay. But I always try to say as close to 48 minutes as possible because usually the great teams are the ones that do it more than the other teams. And we have talent, we have ability. I love our team. But we have to get to the point where we're not putting ourselves in a hole because we're easing into a game. And that's all that was against the Nuggets.
You mentioned trying to clean that up and how a lot of it will fall on you and having to find ways to do it beyond film and walkthroughs. Is there added emphasis when you're going through practice now when you have moments like that?
Yeah, the reality of it is it starts with me, it ends with me, but Fox has to step up. He's a great player on the verge of being a superstar. And there are those guys, and there are the superstars that win at a high level. And part of his responsibility, starting with him, now that doesn't excuse Domas, that doesn't excuse DeMar, that doesn't excuse Malik, and even Keegan at a young age, doesn't excuse everybody. But you have a lot of responsibility if you're that guy, and he's that guy. And he can't be a part of not being locked in. And he for damn sure can't be a part of letting it go if we're not as a team. And so the pressure is on me, and the pressure is on him to go get it done.
Speaking of superstars, the last time you guys played the Lakers, I think LeBron had 16 in the fourth quarter. What type of a version do you think you're going to get from him and this team over the next few days?
I mean, you gotta ask him. I don't know. You know, obviously, you know, we hope he doesn't score 16 in the fourth. Hopefully, we can. You know, you're not going to stop a great player, but hopefully you could slow him down. But I mean, he's a great player for a reason. That's won a lot of championships. That question's for him. I hope he says, you know, he doesn't want to play.
Those things you just mentioned about De'Aaron, I'm sure you have the same conversations with him. How have you seen him be receptive to those and respond?
He's great. I mean, he gonna look you in the eye, and he gonna take it, and he's gonna try to respond. And that's also what a superstar does too. You know, because if I can coach, at the end of the day, if De'Aaron don't want me to be here, I'm not gonna be here, men and ladies. Sorry.
No.
Okay. All right. I understand this is a players' league, but in the same breath, that's what the chance that I got to take, not only push him but everybody else, but especially him. Because if I can push him and he responds to it the right way, okay, he allows me to coach them. Then when I coach anybody else, it ain't much to say, because I'm going at him more than I'm going at the other 16, 17 players on the team.